It's the self-actualized alpha man. But then you'll actually find the real quality women, because by the law of attraction, you actually resonate on that level, and you usually draw into your life what you are. So we have the dichotomy, the dialectic trap. Well, and pickup has been capitalizing on this 10, 15 years ago when it was a thing. I don't think it really exists much anymore, but it was a fad. And at the time it would tell nice guys, you can't be a nice guy, women like bad boys. Oh, that means I have to turn into an asshole. Well, that bad boy asshole is just as dysfunctional as the sweet, nice, manipulative soy boy. It's just two sides of the same coin. So I went from that really nice guy to a real bad boy. And then I said, well, neither one of those is actually the answer. The answer has to be not in the middle either, in a totally different place, in a synergistic place, where I take what's good about the nice guy and what's good about the bad boy without any of the baggage, without any of the bullshit, and then integrate it into becoming an adventurer, an alpha, somebody actually driven by values and purpose. And that's also attractive, if not more so. And then the good thing about that is it attracts quality women. The nice guy attracts women that either don't care for you or that want to take advantage of you. The bad boy creates the train wreck kind of women. And then when you finally find the synthesis, which is much, much greater than the sum of its parts, and it's also without the baggage and the downside, it's the self-actualized alpha man, who is driven by values and virtues, by life's purpose and a mission, who then becomes attractive by dint of those very qualities. And that may not be as attractive to the bad girls and the strippers, although you can still have those if you really want them, which I strongly advise against. But then you'll actually find the real quality women, because by the law of attraction, you actually resonate on that level, and you usually draw into your life what you are. And that's really all the law of attraction really says. It attracts things that are on the same frequency. If you're a nice guy, well, then you attract the girls are vultures. If you're a bad boy, well, then you attract the train wrecks. But if you're an actualized, integrated, self-actualized alpha male with values, virtues, and a vision and a mission, then you attract the real quality women that you truly want. They can't help it. It's inevitable. There's no way around it. It's its default position. And then you really realize you don't have to do a lot to make that happen. So that's just kind of setting the tone for what it really means. And I want to give you my 10 points of my 10 points. Some people have slightly different views of this, but my 10 points of masculinity are the following 10 elements. We don't really have time to go very deeply into this. Of course, in my other products, programs, and so forth, I go far deeper into any of this. I zoom in, and then we really get down to the exercises and releases and so forth. But let me just run them by you real quick and tell you what they are. And they are in the following order. Masculine essence. Number 2, response. I'm going to go through them again with a little more detail. Responsibility. Ethics and character. Vision, intention, and purpose. Decisions, or decision-making ability, decision-making power. I call it decisions, clarity, and commitment. Number 6, emotional health. Number 7, core strength. Number 8, independence, in that sense. Independence. Number 9, courage. And number 10, presence and authenticity. Let's go through them again in a little more detail. What I mean by masculine essence, and these build upon each other, by the way. So there's a reason to the sequence. The masculine essence is that you're born with. Like if you look at a little dog or a little cat, you can already tell. If you look at kittens, I'm a real cat lover. I love dogs too, but I'm a little more partial to cats for some weird reason. I guess because they're so wild and independent, and they're not so needy. Love me. I love dogs, don't get me wrong, I have dogs, but I also have cats, and cats are a little more my kind of thing, because cats aren't your pet. They're not your servant, they're your master. They're royalty, and you're their subjects. You're there to serve your cat. Trust me, your cat is your master. Anyway, masculine essence. Oh, the genders are equal. There's no difference between men. Well, first of all, gender. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Gender. There's no such thing as a male and female. Gender. Gender is a linguistic construct. It's an abstraction. It has nothing to do. It's called the male sex and the female sex. Notice how that kind of went away the last 50 years. It's now gender. You don't have a gender, you have a sex. You either have the male sex or the female sex. Now, I'm not trying to rag on, I actually know transsexuals. I have no problem with them. So I'm not ragging on them, I'm not putting them down. That's not my point. But the point is there's two sexes. Biologically, there's two sexes. Anything is some kind of hybrid. There's not 67 genders, and if you go to jail if you don't use blah, blah, blah. What the fuck is this bullshit? There's two sexes, the male sex and the female sex. So when in the questionnaire or some kind of patient intake form at your doctor's office or your driver's license office, it says, what's your gender? I said, I'm sorry, I don't have a gender. It's called the sexes. Biologically, it's the male sex and the female sex. Gender is a construct. It's bullshit. It doesn't exist. It's linguistic and only linguistics. So, that said, you can tell the difference between a little girl and a little boy right away. Oh, it's gender stereotyping. I don't care what you think it is. There's two sexes, male and female. There's two polarities, plus and minus, okay? And if you look at a little kitten, I can tell very early on, after a few weeks, I can already tell a male kitten from a female kitten. They behave differently inherently. It's their birthright to be one or the other. And they're not confused about their sex at all. The little kittens, female ones, are a little more bitchy. They're more concerned with raising the family. A little cat, tomcat, wants to play. He's much more playful and has nothing but mischief in mind. Nothing but mischief. They'll knock shit off your table. They'll walk up your curtains and balance on the curtain rods. Well, females will do that too, but not to the same extent. So already you can tell the difference very early on. I've seen it in cows, I've seen it in goats, I've seen it in pretty much any mammal. A natural distinction within a few weeks of where you can tell what's the male essence. The male essence is being playful. Now I'm always telling you the boy must die in initiation. The boy must die so that the man can live. Now that boyishness that I'm talking about in that context is the unhealthy kind of little boy, the manipulative little bitch of a boy that's trying to manipulate. Mom, I want my ice cream now. I want my ice cream while I scream kind of brat. That's the uninitiated soy boy, the emperor's son in Gladiator. That kind of boy must die. That said, there's something like, for instance, when women always swoon over John F. Kennedy because they said he has boyish qualities. Robert Redford has boyish qualities, kind of like the sunny boy, if you remember Robert Redford. Paul Newman, they had boyish qualities. They were always kind of like, they never seemed to fully grow up, but also in a good way because they preserved that playfulness. Like the little boy that wants to show mom, look, I can ride my bicycle, no hands. I did that, and I fell on my face many times doing it, but look, mom, no hands. It's the little mischievous little boy, and that's a good quality that we need to preserve. That's male essence, wanting to break through barriers. Why do we have things like football? Because we want to break through the defense line of the opposing team. Even if you read David Data, The Way of the Superior Man, it's talking about men want to break through borders and boundaries in life, a little rebelliousness. You also want to break through the defenses of a woman that's closely guarding her virginity. You want to kind of break through that barrier, don't you? Well, that's also that boy. I'm not advocating rape culture or any such bullshit. I'm just saying you want to get through those defenses. You want to conquer a woman. You don't want to like mischievously hack your woman. That's what pickup artists do. That's not unethical. I want to hack my way into, I'm a keyboard nerd, but I want to hack her little panties. That's a little more creepy, but that's what I'm talking about. So ethics and character are very important. And yes, those are attractive to quality women, not to some stupid bitch. Why do you think firemen are so attractive to women? Or even activists of any kind are very attractive to women because they stand for something greater than themselves.